If you've been following our music series, you probably already know that the next episode is going to be all about Afrobeat. But hold up. Before we get into it, there's something we need to address. When people talk about Afrobeat, they're talking about one very specific thing. But when streaming services or publications use the term Afrobeats, they're talking about something completely different. And to be honest, it's kind of annoying. So today we're breaking down the difference between Afrobeat and Afrobeats. And just a heads up, this is going to be a long one because both of these terms deserve a lot more than just a few short sentences. And speaking of a few short sentences, now back to the show. Starting off with number 1, origins and founders. Afrobeat was created by the multi-talented musician, songwriter, and activist Fela Kuti in the late 1960s. He developed the genre after listening to various forms of African music and then combining them with elements of jazz, funk, and highlife. Afrobeats, on the other hand, came about much later in the early 2000s. It emerged separately in Nigeria and Ghana, and then evolved over the years thanks to artists like D-Bonz, Wizkid, and Burna Boy. Number 2, message and purpose. Afrobeat was deeply political. Fela used his platform to call out corruption, colonialism, and military rule in Nigeria. His lyrics were thought-provoking, and his music often doubled as a form of protest. Afrobeats, on the other hand, is generally less politically charged. It focuses more on themes of love, money, success, parties, and lifestyle. Number 3, musical structure and sound. Afrobeat tracks are usually long sometimes, 10 minutes or more, and feature extended instrumental breaks. They have big horn sections, complex rhythms, and layered vocals with call and response patterns. Overall, the sound is heavily influenced by Yoruba music and other traditional West African styles. Afrobeats is a lot different. It's shorter, punchier, and more radio-friendly. It blends elements of hip-hop, dancehall, R&B, and electronic production. And it's designed to get stuck in your head and on the dance floor. Number 4, global influence. When it comes to global influence, Afrobeat has that beat. In the 70s and 80s, Fela's music inspired jazz musicians like Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter, and funk artists like George Clinton and James Brown. It also influenced protest music around the world. These days, artists like Erykah Badu, Questlove, Janelle Monáe, and Beyoncé are just a few of the major names who cited Fela as an influence. And let's not forget about Tony Allen, Fela's longtime drummer and bandleader. After Fela passed away in 1997, Allen continued to make great music until his own death in 2020. His innovative polyrhythms and infectious grooves left an undeniable mark on the world of Afrobeat and beyond. In recent years, acts like Soon Kuti and Femi Kuti, both of whom are Fela's sons, have kept the tradition alive, while adding their own fresh sounds. Now Afrobeats? That's a whole other story. Thanks to artists like Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, Tems, and Tiwa Savage, Afrobeats has achieved mainstream global success. It's topped charts, broken records, and collaborated with some of the biggest names in music. Drake, Beyoncé, Ed Sheeran, just to name a few. It's safe to say Afrobeats is now an undeniable part of the global pop scene. Before we move on to the last 2 points, make sure to show your support if you haven't already. It really helps us out. Number 5, key artists. As we mentioned earlier, Fela Kuti is considered the godfather of Afrobeat. His music is where the genre originated, and he's definitely worth a listen. If you're into socially conscious tunes with a heavy dose of funk, other important Afrobeat artists include Tony Allen, Soon Kuti, and Femi Kuti. Now when it comes to Afrobeats, the scene is a bit different. There are many popular artists making waves, but some of the biggest names include Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, Tems, and Tiwa Savage. They've all had massive hits and have collaborated with international artists, bringing Afrobeats to a global audience. And finally, number 6, cultural impact. Afrobeat was more than just a genre. It was a tool of resistance and activism during a time when Nigeria was under military rule. Fela's music in his compound, which he named Kalakuta Republic, became a defiant cultural space that celebrated African identity and challenged oppressive systems. Today, Afrobeat continues to inspire activists and musicians alike. Fela's legacy lives on through his music and his message. Now, Afrobeats occupies a unique space in contemporary African culture. It's a genre that celebrates African excellence and modern pride through catchy tunes and infectious beats. Afrobeats artists are exporting African culture to the rest of the world, and it's working. Afrobeats has become a global phenomenon, uniting people from all walks of life and showing the world that African music is here to stay. And that's a wrap. We hope you learned something new and discovered some awesome music along the way. Remember to keep an eye out for more episodes in our music series. Until then, stay funky and keep on grooving. Peace.